Hey, so I just want to talk about one of the ways to, as your startup, to start managing your virtual appointments to help free up your schedule. So I've gone to a spot in our schedule in Thursday of next year, or February of next year, where we don't have any patients, so we don't have to worry about that. And we just hired our second assistant after being in business for 2 years. So starting January, we'll have actually two columns. And what you'll see is that here's a virtual column. And in that virtual column, I've got little 10-minute appointments, and I've got 7 of them throughout the day. Let's see, actually, maybe I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. For me, they're just spaced out. Right now, they're in spots that are in the schedule that maybe I have more time, but it doesn't really matter because what I do is I just do those virtual appointments by recording a video and sending on Grin at some point throughout the day when I have time. And the great thing about doing virtual appointments is if for some reason it becomes a crazy day or I have an assistant out, those virtual appointments are only scheduled on our side. We don't tell the patient when those virtual appointments are. So I will just move those to a week out or the next day if I don't get to them. And then I will make a Grin video, send it to them, and I'll make a chart entry in my chart of what I said so that we know that we kept that appointment. Because right now, as I'm starting out, we just want to make sure that we get our patients trained to do virtual appointments, that we're keeping track of these patients as we're growing slowly. I typically average probably 3 or 4 virtual appointments a day right now, 3 days a week after being open for 2 years. Sometimes I have as many as 6 or 7. And then as we grow that situation and that comfort in our systems, we'll likely go to dynamic scheduling at some point, but this is a great way to start out doing virtual appointments. And when there's only a few, as you grow, you can also start to train your team to do those videos as well, or your HI person. So hopefully that's a helpful way just to learn how to start out with going all in with remote monitoring and custom care from the very beginning. One other thing, actually, also make sure that when you make those appointments that you set the reminders to be turned off for patients. So if you make that appointment, you don't want your patient getting a reminder that they have an appointment that day, just so that those appointments are for your tracking, your keeping. It's also helpful for you to be able to track to make sure how many appointments you're actually having versus virtual appointments in your PMS software. All right, thanks so much.